Across the world, there are 8 different biomes that make up Earth, each differing in various vegetations, locations, climates, and native animals. Today, we will discuss what factors determine the biome distribution seen across the map. Traveling from Arkansas, our first stop is the desert. The desert can be found 30 degrees north and south of the equator. The desert is known for extremely hot temperatures in the day and cold temperatures at night. Due to harsh conditions and unfavorable sandy soil conditions, you're likely to find plants like cacti and sand sage. Through the day, you might even see some native species like various toads, rattlesnakes, and desert foxes. Fun fact, some deserts are so hot that the water evaporates in the air before it falls down. From hot to cold, our next stop is the tundra. Located above 50 degrees north of the equator, the tundra experiences long cold winters and limited rainfall. Soil stays mainly frozen from the cold, and the thawing turns the tundra into a source of greenhouse emissions due to soil carbon conversion of carbon dioxide and methane. As we have learned, this affects biodiversity, which can partly explain the low diversity levels seen already in the tundra. Vegetation such as perennial sedges and evergreens stay low due to limited water resources. In the tundra, you will see reindeer, polar bears, and Arctic fox roaming. Fun fact, after Christmas, you may even find Rudolph here too.
Now that we've seen Rudolph's siblings, I think it's time for something that feels closer to home. The temperate grasslands can be found 30 to 60 degrees north and south of the equator. It's best known for its warmer summers and cold winters similar to the ones we have here in Arkansas. If you thought the temperate grasslands were composed of lots of grass growing across the fields, you're on the right track. The grasslands have rich soils for grass growth and great for agriculture production. Native to the land, you will find bison, prairie dogs, and various insects across the land. Fun fact, 25% of Earth is covered by the temperate grasslands and has the highest below-ground net primary production. Now it's time for the MVP of all the biomes. Our next stop and home to Tarzan is the tropical rainforest. Here you will find the highest diversity out of all of the other biomes. Rich in plant and animal life, you will find roughly 50% of all species here, including tree frogs, jaguars, and monkeys. The tropical rainforest is a sight to see with broad-leaved trees. Having daily rainfall and high diversity, soil got the short end of the stick, having the lowest below-ground net primary production compared to all the other biomes, and also being very nutrient poor. Fun fact, have you ever wondered where your medicine comes from? 1/4 of medications come from the plants in the tropical rainforest. Up next, we hope you're hungry because it's time for dinner with the giraffes and long talks with Simba. We're headed to the tropical savanna. 0 to 30 degrees north and south of the equator, you'll find the famous African acacia trees, zebras, and gazelles. The savannas are trademarked by their period of overabundance in food, followed by a shortage. This is partial to their high stable temperature and varying precipitation patterns. Fun fact, the savanna has the largest biodiversity plant-eating mammals on the planet.
For our next stop, we're headed 30 to 60 degrees north of the equator to the temperate deciduous forest. Home to high rainfall and harsh winters, the deciduous forest has rich soils which allow for the trees to flourish. Under these trees, you'll find raccoons, porcupines, red fox, and the famous white-tailed deer Bambi. Fun fact, Bambi once said, "The colder the winter, the warmer the spring, the deeper the sorrow, the more our hearts sing," which we definitely think describes the climate of the deciduous forest. Buckle up. For our next stop, we're headed to the tropical seasonal forest. Located above and below 10 degrees of the equator, the forest experiences high stable temperatures throughout the year. Sometimes known as the dry forest, the area has dry and wet seasons that control their vegetation. Traveling to biomes like this one, you'll see various trees, shrubs, and plant canopies throughout the forest. Under those canopies lie animals like the Tasmanian devil, American alligator, and kangaroo rats. Fun fact, the closest tropical seasonal forest to us is located in Mexico. Next up, we're headed to the place where ice can be a mile thick. It's the polar region. Located 90 degrees north and south of the equator, the polar region is home to polar bears, penguins, and about 420 fish species in the Arctic. The soil is typically covered in ice and low in carbon and nitrogen. Vegetation includes shrubs, lichen, and moss. The polar regions are the coldest areas on Earth. With its 2 seasons, summer and winter, it's the farthest away from the equator. Fun fact, summer months include October to February, and the sun never fully sets, and temperatures range from negative 76 degrees to 14 degrees Fahrenheit.
And just like that, that's all, folks. Thanks for traveling through the biomes with us.